there's one in a prioritization that definitely was the clincher for us in terms of engaging in a partnership with Capta. That specific one is that capital shortfall that we've come up with.
Capta has enabled us to bring in tools and services to a Presbyterian services that was best in class. They provided us capital, they provided us expertise, and we are already seeing improvement beyond what we ever expected.
I would say some of the most significant improvements or opportunities that we've had since partnering with Capta has been, one, our ability to implement multiple service lines in a single year.
You usually leave things on the table. You have a large inventory of high cost, usually focused appropriately so on the quality of care delivery for the community. What's going to get left aside? What gets left aside typically is those back office initiatives that may have multi-year returns, right? But we can't fully fund those things, particularly when they're innovative, when it's new technology.
Capta has provided additional dollars that we were not receiving as best in class. Those dollars go to the general bucket that supports the overall mission.
You're right, you need a foothold and a launching point, and so partnering with somebody unlocks the dollars and also has the benefit to more fully fund the capital on a clinical side. Finding someone who believes in their model and will help us invest the capital that supplements what we can do on our own.
And so what Capta has been able to do is really open a pipeline for us of opportunities, initiatives, things that we knew needed to be done but didn't have the capital resources to do, didn't have the human capital to do, and in some cases didn't have the expertise to do.
And so an inability to be able to keep up with that pace of technology and fully fund capital is the reason we sought out an alternative. But the additional benefit is it helped close the gap in terms of that operating margin. We now have taken and untapped what was really bottled up in terms of our operational expense. We weren't able to get to it because we were only able to do one or two things a year. So really it's around the capital prioritization that we were searching out for Capta. We decided to go with this, but the benefits to operating margin are very, very material.
They basically, since the inception, a year and a half ago, we've improved our margins by 4%, our net patient revenue. So that's not only a yield improvement, but there's also a reduction in cost to collect. So they certainly proved me wrong, and I'm very happy to say that.
I think the only way you're ever going to achieve, the next step in innovation is the AI, right? Generative AI, et cetera. That is extremely expensive, right? To build, to develop, et cetera. So I think that you're gonna have to have a partner like a Capta or other partners like that are willing to share some of that expense. If you're waiting for the healthcare systems to develop generative AI, we're gonna be here a while because they just don't have the resources or the capacity. So I do think that that's kind of our next step, if you will, evolutionary step from a healthcare perspective, is being able to leverage and share that risk across the board, not just within the healthcare system.
Capta comes in a disruptive model, offers leadership talent and technology that enabled me to retain my staff, not have reductions in staff, and deliver a 4% lift in operating margin.
What the Capta partnership has enabled us as we've continued to improve our rev cycle performance is truly to allow us to invest in other areas that perhaps we weren't able to yesterday. So having that 4% improvement in our net patient revenue while also reducing the effort and cost to collect has enabled us to invest in other areas that potentially we would not have been able to.
What happened is the work on development has shifted to Capta and at a much higher execution rate, much better. And my team has now been able to lean in more to the front office side, front facing with patients, with the consumer, which is, as we talked about at the front end, also growing in importance. So it absolutely is shifting our resources to focus on why we're in business, what our mission is to serve the community. So.
It's opened up those doors across the organization internally to continue to improve, which is what we need to do. Continuous improvement is what we strive for. But ultimately, I just see that we will continue to enhance the partnership and hopefully be able to help others that are in our same place of viability. I mean, healthcare is struggling today, and we all need that little boost in hands sometimes. And I think Capta provides that.